The best iPhone out of these three generations might actually surprise you. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is the best that money can buy, but is it the best overall value considering how expensive the iPhone 14 Pro lineup is outside of the US? It's time for a real truth bomb. I know you guys are wondering what cases I'm rocking on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. Well, the world's lightest and the thinnest MagSafe cases for the iPhone 14 series are finally here. The Pitaka MagEZ Case 3 and Pro 3 are now 27% lighter and a whopping 33% thinner compared to the previous generation. I am genuinely impressed with how thin these cases are, built using a fusion weaving process to have unique styles, skin-friendly 3D texture, plus it uses 100% environment-friendly material. The MagEZ Case 3 series are fully compatible with MagSafe products. For example, the MagEZ Slider from Pitaka is incredible as it doubles as a power bank as well as a wireless charger and even gets you the coolest dock. They also have a MagEZ Car Mount case plus a snap-on wallet for your MagEZ case to store cards. I mean, Pitaka ecosystem is full of excellent products and it's perfect for your new iPhone. Shop now by clicking the first link in the description. Alrighty, so design-wise, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the granddaddy of them all that actually gave birth to this boxy look. The 13 and 14 are just further extensions of it with really just two major visual changes. Apart from the flagship colors, the camera lenses are bigger with each generation and Apple's PP, aka the notch on the front, has gotten smaller and smaller. The dynamic island is a pretty genius way to hide the imperfection that is a pill, which is like a mini notch, but if you compare it to the previous two generations, compared to the 12 Pro Max, it is a good change but not a huge jump from the 13 Pro Max and definitely not really a reason to upgrade. If we take a look at the camera changes between the three generations, you can see in daytime the images are surprisingly similar, especially how the 12 Pro Max is holding up. The differences start to show up when you're in more tougher scenarios, especially in low light situations. Apple has also upgraded the ultra wide angle lens, which has gotten sharper over the each generation. Front camera is another one that has a big noticeable difference in low light situations. Again, you can notice how these changes are more significant when coming from 12 Pro Max to 14 Pro Max and not quite as much when coming from the 13 Pro Max. Now, regardless of the time and generations, these three iPhones will offer one big major change, which is going to be the software, aka iOS 16. It runs incredibly well across all three iPhones. The A14 is holding up pretty good compared to the mostly similar A15 and A16 chips on the 13 Pro and the 14 Pro. Now, despite how good the 12 Pro Max is, it still has a 60Hz display, which is definitely not going to be as smooth as the 120Hz display on the 13 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max. Once again, it's a big difference from 12 Pro Max to 14 Pro Max, but 13 is still holding pretty strong. In terms of the battery life, this is a pretty interesting area because the 13 Pro Max actually has the biggest battery size out of all three models, and it actually delivers very similar battery performance and in some cases even better battery performance than the 14 Pro Max. Considering everything, especially the pricing of the latest iPhone 14 Pro series in markets outside of US, the best iPhone for value is actually the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Even in markets like UK, you can pick up a refurbished iPhone 13 Pro Max for about £400 cheaper than a brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you're coming from anything older than these models and looking for value over just having the latest and the greatest specs, then 13 Pro Max is definitely the right model to go with. Now, if you're using a 12 Pro Max, then the 14 Pro Max could be a pretty sweet upgrade, provided if you can afford that price difference. But if not, the 13 Pro Max offers the same key changes that a 14 Pro Max would offer, like a 120Hz screen, almost as good battery life, if not better, a smaller notch that doesn't sit on the actual screen and stays in its limits, Apple A15 chip that is so good that you still see it on the iPhone 14 and the 14 Plus. It still is, in my eyes, the best iPhone, even if you're going from the 12 Pro Max, considering it's not going to cost the same when it was launched. Again, if you can afford to pay extra and in your market the price difference is not as much between the 13 Pro Max and the 14 Pro Max, then 14 Pro Max is definitely a better deal. I hope this helps you out when making that purchase decision. I will be doing my full review of the iPhone 14 Pro Max in a few days, so make sure to subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.